When a woman finally learns to master her emotions and reconnect with her true worth, something extraordinary happens. She stops begging for love. She doesn't chase it. She awakens it. And the most powerful part, she no longer has to run after love. It comes back to her on its own. This isn't magic. It's psychology. Sister, have you ever felt that crushing pain of being discarded like an old piece of furniture, without explanation, without closure? That emptiness can feel unbearable. But let me tell you something important. This is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a new version of you. What you choose to do in this fragile moment, this silence after the storm, will decide whether you break yourself down or rise into rebirth. Most women in their pain make the same heartbreaking mistake. They chase. They flood his phone with messages as though their dignity was stored in that glowing screen. They plead, justify, and humiliate themselves. But each desperate attempt only lowers their value. It's like trying to put out a fire by throwing gasoline on it. Sound familiar? You're not alone. But today, the rules of the game are going to change. Because there is a hidden truth about silence, detachment, and inner rebirth. They are not just casual advice, they are weapons. Weapons of both psychology and spirit. You don't need to read 100 self-help books or become some spiritual guru. What you need is courage, the courage to act differently. Because the moment a woman stops begging for love, she begins to radiate it. Without a word, without effort, just through her presence. Stay with me until the end, because this message is not for emotional beggars. It's for women ready to transform into such powerful, authentic versions of themselves that even the past stops, turns, and looks back twice. Remember, this isn't about him. It's about you, your return to your center, your reconnection with your true self. Because the instant you stop needing him is the very moment he starts needing you. Silence speaks louder than 1,000 desperate words. Haven't you noticed? The more you try to explain yourself, the less he listens. Silence is not emptiness, it is strategy. Think back to when he left. Perhaps you begged for explanations, pleaded for one more chance, sent long emotional texts. But none of it worked. Do you know why? Because all that noise screamed desperation. And desperation, sister, is the ugliest perfume a woman can wear. But when you choose silence, you don't vanish. You leave a deeper imprint. Silence is not surrender. It's the refusal to keep feeding a fire that only consumes your energy. And when someone has been used to your constant presence, your endless messages, your availability, the sudden absence hits harder than any words ever could. He begins to wonder, why isn't she calling? Doesn't she need me anymore? Has she found someone else? Think of a street you walk down every day, filled with noise and chaos. Then suddenly absolute silence. What do? You stop. You notice the absence. That's how intelligent detachment works. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, first, learn the meaning of what you want to say, then speak. Or in this case, learn the meaning of silence and let it speak for you. Because when you stop giving explanations, he is forced to invent them himself. And that is not coincidence, that is strategy. Let me tell you a real story. A girl I knew was blocked on every social platform. Do you know what she did? Nothing. No begging, no angry posts, no desperate gifts, just silence. Instead, she turned inward, on her body, her finances, her mindset. 2 months later, he returned with a pathetic excuse. I dreamed about you. Was that magic? No, that was silence used as a weapon, because silence not only communicates, it creates. It creates mystery, curiosity, and a void. And human nature hates a void. We feel compelled to fill it. When you stop chasing, something inside him shifts. The woman he once ignored becomes the woman he can't stop thinking about. He feels your absence, your new energy, your transformation, even from miles away. Silence is not passivity. It is charged power, an emotional time bomb. Every time you resist the urge to text, you grow stronger. Every day you choose yourself instead of him, you reclaim your worth. Because here's the truth, the one who stays silent commands. The one who chases loses, and the one who grows quietly becomes unforgettable. Have you ever noticed how he suddenly reappears the moment you let go emotionally? That's no accident. That's psychology. Detachment is not indifference, it is influence. When you withdraw your attention, you disrupt his pattern. You are no longer predictable, no longer easy to access. You transform into an unknown. And the human brain, especially the male brain, resists uncertainty, feels the loss. Even if it can't explain it, attention builds habit. When you break that habit, he feels the absence like hunger. Suddenly the certainty of you is gone. And nothing unsettles a man more than realizing he no longer has what he once took for granted. But here's the key. This isn't about tricking him. It's about shifting the dynamic so completely that you are no longer the woman who waits, begs, or pleads. You become the woman who is centered, grounded, radiant, who doesn't need anyone's love to confirm her value. Sister, silence and detachment are not punishments for him. They are gifts for you. They are the doorway back to your own strength, your own self-worth. So stop screaming in places where no one is listening. Create a silence so profound, so undeniable that it forces him to stop, to wonder, to remember. Because the moment you stop chasing love, love comes chasing you. You're not ignoring him out of pride, sister. You're doing it out of wisdom. Because anyone who failed to value you when you were present must one day taste the weight of your absence. No explanations, no warnings, just silence. It's like sugar in coffee. Someone who has drunk it sweet their whole life never questions the taste until one day the sugar is gone. At first, they don't understand what's missing, but they feel it. They may not admit it, but they long for it. That subtle shift in flavor unsettles them. And that very contrast between what was and what now is awakens something primal in the male mind, the instinct to hunt. Because when something pulls away, when someone suddenly becomes inaccessible, our nature is not to let go, it's to pursue. Not from weakness, but from humanity. And in men, this instinct is stronger still. Evolution has programmed them to chase what withdraws, to conquer what feels unreachable. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." In this context, it means you won't degrade yourself. You won't beg, plead, or battle for scraps of validation like countless others do. Instead, you'll respond with calmness, with focus, with a version of yourself he never saw coming. You are not reactive, you are strategic. And that unshakable composure throws people off balance. This is where reverse psychology works, not as manipulation, but as a natural shift in the power dynamic. Think about it. When someone chases you, who holds the control? You do. You choose whether to respond, to be present, or to remain silent. But when you've always been available and suddenly vanish, the control shifts. Now he is the one asking, where is she? Why isn't she writing? What changed? That unanswered question begins to pull him closer. Let me share a story. A young woman spent nights pouring her heartbreak into poems, posting sad messages, dedicating songs on her stories, until one day she vanished. No more words, no more displays of pain. Instead, she went to the gym, focused on her career, and poured her energy into herself. 2 weeks later, even though he was with another woman, he sent a simple message. "Are you okay?" But that harmless question masked something deeper, unease at her transformation. Because when you shift your energy, when you stop being predictable, you create imbalance. And humans hate imbalance. We are wired to chase what we can no longer control. That tension is addictive, so apply it. True, no contact, no messages, no glances at his social media, no analyzing his stories. Instead, reinvent your days. Turn every moment without him into a stage for growth. Because your silence is not indifference, it's repositioning. This repositioning is both external and internal. It's a silent declaration. I am no longer where you left me. You are reorganizing your thoughts, your priorities, your values. You are no longer the woman waiting for a notification. You are the woman walking her own path. That kind of emotional independence is magnetic. Stop trying to be remembered. Become unforgettable. What is rare is desired more. What is abundant loses value. This isn't just philosophy, it's law, the law of scarcity. Economists know it. Psychologists prove it. And wise women apply it. When you were always available, always the first to call, always checking on him, he got used to it. And what becomes routine fades into invisibility. Think about air. You breathe it all day without noticing. But if you've ever struggled for breath, even for seconds, you suddenly grasp its true worth. The same is true of your presence. When you're constantly there, you fade into the background. But when you break that pattern, your absence is felt with force. His mind begins to race. Why did she disappear? Does she not love me anymore? Is there someone else? That whirlpool of questions is more powerful than any love letter. Because now you are no longer predictable. You've become a mystery. And mysteries captivate. Remember, abundance breeds indifference. Scarcity creates urgency. When you were easy to reach, he could afford to ignore you. But when your energy becomes scarce, he feels restless. You are no longer guaranteed access. You've become a lost opportunity, and that, sister, keeps him awake at night. Let me give you another story. A woman gave endlessly, texts, favors, attention. She was always available until one day she simply stopped. No drama, no bitter words. She just focused on her health, her travels, her growth. The result? He came back, confused, searching for excuses to reconnect. But it was too late. She was no longer there emotionally. That quiet absence hit harder than any angry speech. So today, stop scattering your energy like it has no value. Limit your availability. Don't respond instantly. Don't always say yes. Not because you're playing games, but because you're building something greater. If he wants to know you now, let him earn it. And understand this clearly. True emotional scarcity is not fake. It's the natural result of growth. Because when you're busy building your inner empire, you don't have time to beg for attention. Being emotionally scarce is not coldness, it's wisdom. It is emotional intelligence in its purest form. While others chase shadows, you walk steadily toward your own light. And that energy is irresistible. Personal rebirth is not a trick. It is a necessity. If you stay dependent, insecure, empty, then every attempt to reconnect will only mask desperation. But when you rebuild yourself, brick by brick, you shift everything, even unseen, he feels it. Energy doesn't need Wi-Fi to travel. It radiates from your posture, your presence, your silence. It's like a house once in ruins that now stands renewed and magnificent. Anyone who saw it destroyed can't help but marvel at what has risen in its place. That's you. Not a woman patched together with quotes and filters, but a woman whose foundation has been rebuilt. Self-worth, dignity, essence. Pain becomes your teacher. Silence becomes your power. Scarcity becomes your strategy. And in that rebirth, something miraculous happens. You no longer care if he comes back, because you realize the love you were seeking was never his, it was always your own. You're not begging out of pride, sister. You're choosing wisdom. The people who failed to cherish you when you were present must eventually feel the weight of your absence, not as punishment, but as consequence, felt without warning, without explanation. Imagine sugar in coffee. When it's always there, no one notices the sweetness. Remove it, and the taste changes. At first there's confusion, then an ache. That small shift awakens something primal in the male mind, the hunting instinct. When something pulls away, when someone becomes inaccessible, the instinct is to pursue, not to surrender. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is not imitation." In this life, that means you won't debase yourself for attention. You won't plead or perform for scraps of validation. Instead, you will answer with calm, measured focus, the kind of transformation he never predicted. You are not reactive, you are strategic. That composure unbalances him. Reverse psychology isn't manipulation, it's a reset of the power dynamic. When you were always there, there was no mystery. When you vanish, questions rise. Where is she? Why isn't she writing? What changed? Those questions pull. I knew a woman who stopped broadcasting her pain. No more sad poems, no public breakdowns. She turned inward. Gym sessions, late study nights, a plan for a new business. 2 weeks later, though he was with someone else, he sent a text. "Are you okay?" That harmless line trembled with surprise. Her absence had unsettled him. When you shift your energy, you shift reality. Humans seek balance. When access is denied, obsession grows. So practice true, no contact. No messages, no comments, no anxious story checking. Live loudly where it counts. Inside your routine, your body, your goals. Each minute away is an investment. Your silence is not indifference. It is repositioning. It's a quiet declaration. I am not where you left me. Reorganize your priorities. Rebuild your boundaries. Walk a path that no longer waits for his approval. That kind of independence isn't cold. It's magnetic. Scarcity creates value. Abundance breeds indifference. When you were endlessly present, first to message, first to forgive, your attention became background noise. But when you withdraw, scarcity sparks curiosity and desire. Think of the air you breathe. Until you gasp for breath, you don't know its worth. A panic is what you ignite when you vanish. His mind begins to fill gaps. Is she with someone else? Did she forget me? Those imagined stories are powerful, often more powerful than any message you could send. Mystery captivates. This isn't childish game playing. Don't fake scarcity. Don't manufacture drama. Instead, build a life that naturally limits your availability because you are busy building an inner empire. Your time, your attention, your love, these are resources. Guard them. If he wants you now, let him make the effort to find you. Emotional scarcity practiced with dignity is wisdom, not cruelty. Silence must be active. Fill it with growth. Learn something new. Train your body. Launch a project. Heal. Grow. Every day of no contact should be a day of reconstruction. When you re-emerge, you must not be the same woman who waited. You must be someone he recognizes as gone for a reason. Stronger, more whole, not patched together with quotes and filters. Real rebirth is invisible at first. Steady mornings, small wins, reclaimed dignity. It is not attention-seeking. It is a steady rebuild. Pain is a teacher. Tears are seeds. Tend them and they become roots. The woman who rebuilds quietly becomes unforgettable. Energy travels farther than messages. It radiates from posture, from steady eyes, from calm breath. Others sense it, even if they don't see the work. The ruined house becomes a new structure. Those who witnessed the fall can't help but stare at the rebuild. When he returns, and he might, he won't find the woman he left. He'll find someone who can choose. The one who begged no longer exists. In her place stands a woman centered, focused, and free. If he asks for a second chance, you decide. You neither plead nor panic. You evaluate from fullness, not from lack. So next time you ache, ask, do I miss him or the version of me that lost herself for him? Use the pain as fuel, not a trap. Make a list, body, mindset, skills, goals. Work on them daily, not to lure him back, but to become the woman who never needs to be lured. Share your story. Let your rise inspire other women still stuck where you once were. Ask yourself, which line landed hardest? Which moment in this message felt like a hand on your shoulder? Keep going. This journey asks for patience and honesty. There will be days you stumble and nights when doubt whispers, but every small act of care, a workout, a study hour, a phone call you didn't make, adds up. Track your progress, celebrate micro wins, and surround yourself with women who reflect your worth. When you commit to this inner work, life rearranges itself around your dignity. Watch the whole video, absorb these lessons, and promise yourself, I will not be the woman I once was. And remember, sister, he doesn't come back because you begged. He comes back because the woman he once knew no longer exists. You've rebuilt, you've transformed, and now the choice is yours, not his. If this message spoke to your heart, tell me in the comments which part felt written just for you. Your story might be the light another woman needs. And don't forget, like, share, and subscribe for more lessons on strength, love, and self-mastery.